would it be like if you knew how to sell anything in any niche, at any price point, to anyone? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to help you to do with this video, with a very simple trick that you can use in your marketing. Well, not really a trick, more of a first principle strategy when it comes to your marketing. Everything is bought based on it is only after we purchase something that we now need to justify it with some kind of logic. As you guys know, I'm the head of marketing over at Empire Flippers. We have sold over 2,000 businesses at this point. So I have had the honor of seeing a lot of different businesses across a lot of different verticals and industries. And my own practice of marketing Empire Flippers, which, let's be honest, is not that easy to do, to convince someone to give up the business that they have spent so much of their years of their life building for that big payday, even though they're very happy when they do get that big payday, right? It takes a lot of trust, it takes a lot of marketing. So I thought it'd be really fun here, since a lot of my audience are other marketers out there, about the way I think about marketing. And this is a very simple system. I'm going to give you two flavors of basically the same thing that can help you sell really to anyone, with anything. As long as you get these fundamentals right, it is going to help you with all of your marketing, whether you're doing TikTok, Facebook ads, SEO, does not matter. The principles work across every single marketing channel you can think of. So let's talk about these first principles. The first step, before I get into the two things that are the two different flavors of how to do this, is you got to understand, how does a purchase happen? Now, I'm not talking about the technical funnel or the abandoned cart or any of that stuff. That's all cool, but that's window dressing. Those are tactics. I'm talking about is strategy. So the strategy here is understanding, how do people buy? And even going up one step further, the principle of how someone buys. The principle never changes, strategy changes, and tactics are always changing. But the principle of how someone buys something is all based on emotion. So you see, there's all these people like, oh, ads don't work on me, or I bought this because of XYZ, but they really didn't. The ads didn't not work. In fact, they did work. It's just that a good ad, you don't realize it is working on you. It happens all the time. If you ever want a funny story about it, when I was in the oil field, there's a guy I knew who got sucked into a whole VSL. He watched it for like an hour on the company computer before buying these like testosterone enhancers, right? So it definitely works on everyone. It's just some marketing works on some people, and on others, they need different types of marketing. But at the end of the day, when it comes to marketing something, no one buys anything based on logic. People don't go to the gym to buy a gym membership because like, hey, that is a good deal for me to go get in shape. Instead, they're buying it based on an emotional reason. Everything is bought based on emotions. It is only after we purchase something that we now need to justify it with some kind of logic. This is why, especially if you're in the service world, the biggest thing you need to do the moment, like let's say you're a marketing agency, that you get a client that signs up, is you need to convince them that they made the right decision. Because there is no bigger feeling than a client will feel when they sign on to your marketing agency than regret. That's the feeling they're going to feel the moment they send you the money, the moment they send you the invoice. Did I just make the wrong decision? So you need to sell them again. Yes, you did make the right decision. Don't worry, it's not the wrong decision, right? So we always do this. This is why you can see hucksters out in the internet marketing world that are like well-known hucksters. Like these guys are scammers, shysters, whatever. This is why they can succeed over and over again with selling new products over and over again, because the principle of how to make someone buys never changes. And even though their reputation is tarred, the nice thing about internet marketing is you can reach an unlimited scale if you know what you're doing, right? So they can always get new people coming in that they can use these first principles on, which is people buy based on emotion. Now, those people will never build a gigantic business at all, or at least not a very sustainable one, and they might end up in prison from getting sued by the FTC because they don't do the second part, which is justifying the emotion with the logic. You still need to have a good product, but in order to sell that good product, what you need to focus on is the emotion, and then the product will justify the emotion that they felt. This is how you build a big business. This is how we built a big business at Empire Flippers. When I first joined at Empire Flippers, we were probably, honestly, not even a 7-figure company in terms of our own personal valuation. I've seen our company rise to meteoric heights over the last 8 years. I think at our peak, we were probably worth like 89 mil or something like that, right? Like we were worth a lot of money during all of this hype stuff. And the big reason why we were able to do that is because our marketing tapped into the emotion And our product, which is actually brokering businesses, justifies the emotion. So let me walk you through these methods. Now, the first one is the more common way of thinking about this. And the second way is how I teach people this process. So the first one is what I call the 3 whys. Whenever you are thinking about selling anything, ask yourself, why does someone buy this? Like, let's say you were selling a fitness course. I was just recently talking to a friend about this because he's thinking about starting a fitness info product. I'd ask him, well, why do people buy it? Like, well, they want to lose weight. Great. Why do they want to lose weight? Because they want to look better and get healthier. Okay, well, why do they want to look better and get healthier? Because they're broken inside and they don't like it. When they look in the mirror, they see a broken person and they want to get better. And the way that they feel like they can do this and have control is by going and working out. You see how like crazy deep that just got with like 3 levels? But this is the way all emotions work. It's how all marketing works, basically. Everyone is always buying based on emotion. And you need to find what that core truth is. Now, in the weight loss example, there's a bunch of other things that could come up there. Like, I want to lose weight. Why do you want to lose weight? So I can be healthier. Why do you want to be healthy? Because I want to live long enough to see my kids have grandkids, right? So this is just as deep of an emotional thing as the other stuff, but is in a different angle. So every company will have these different angles that they can pursue down. But what you want to do in this experiment is just find your one core emotional angle where you could go with your service or your product or whatever it is you're selling. Now, the second way, the second flavor, the one I prefer to do this exercise, as far as I know, no one else has called it this. So I called it the big filter. That's my terminology for it when I teach people this. So the big filter, when you're looking at trying to market anything, you basically have 3 steps. What do you sell? Who do you sell to? And what do you really sell? So let's use Empire Flippers as an example of this, because this also captures the 3 whys pretty cleverly, I think. So step 1, what do we sell? Empire Flippers, we sell businesses. Easy, profitable businesses, right? They got to be making money for us to be able to sell. Fantastic. Who do we sell it to? We sell it to buyers, or we sell it to people who want to become entrepreneurs, people who want to become investors, or people who are entrepreneurs and investors. That covers the whole gamut of the entrepreneurial crowd and the private equity and family office side that we often sell businesses to. Fantastic. So we know what we're selling and we know who we're selling to. Fantastic. Now we go to step 3, and this is the emotional core. And that is, what are you really selling? With a hard emphasis on that, really. That's the emotional punchline. If you figure out what the answer is to this emotional punchline, all of your marketing can center around this core nexus. It can go into your copywriting, go into your emails, it can do everything. It can be the literal inspiration for all the different types of content you're doing that will just show up constantly, sometimes in a bold way, sometimes in a subtle way. And our answer to this question shows up at Empire Flippers all the time, or at least most of the time in our marketing and our sales conversation. So the answer for what Empire Flippers really sells is an opportunity to change your life. We're merchants of opportunity. Now, that opportunity might change your life in an extremely negative way. Sometimes businesses go to shit that you might acquire, right? It happens. This is the nature of the game. Business is not a risk-free game. So by doing this, by talking about what we are, now I can use such verbiage as merchants of opportunity. Sounds pretty slick, but I don't say so myself. And that sounds interesting, where I can now tap into this emotion of someone who really wants to change their life. Whether it's through selling a business or through buying a business, I am telling you, it may not be better, but I will change your life. And now some people look at me when I say stuff like that and they're like, well, why do you include the negative part? That's actually one is a good question, and 2 is an extremely important part of our marketing message. So by telling you flat out that I am a merchant of opportunity, I will change your life, and I might do it in a negative way, what that actually tells you is I'm honest, because I'm telling you sometimes things don't go as planned. That's just life, hey. It happens, like a Google algorithm update happens, or some supply catastrophe happens in the global supply chain, right? Who knows what will happen? But I'm being upfront about it. So by being upfront about the negative aspects of your service as part of your emotional punchline, it actually endears people more to you. Now, there's a great example of this that we had on our blog from years and years ago, even before I joined the company, so this is like, I think over 10 years ago. But we have a whole blog post you can go look about these Russian hackers that scammed us way back in the day, back when we were selling like little $2,000 websites. And we chose to talk about it publicly on our blog. And a lot of people question, well, why would you ever do that? Like, people need to feel like they have to wear this shining armor all the time and look impeccable, when really customers connect with humans and humans are fallible creatures. So by showing that, hey, we messed up, but we also fixed it, like that was in the blog post too, and by being honest and transparent with our audience, that actually endeared them much, much more to wanting to buy and sell businesses with us. Now, I implore you to go through this, use the why method and use the big filter method. Find out the kernel, the core of truth, of of the emotions that you are singing to and playing with for your customer to solve. Like, what kind of emotions are they going through when they go and buy, I don't know, that toaster you're selling, right? Like, people think that, oh, like this is easy for you, Greg, because you're selling like a really cool product. But if you watch the show Mad Men, there is a great scene where he's selling something like Clorox. And this is where I got the inspiration for the big filter, by the way. Huge fan of Mad Men. Shout out to Don Draper. But this is where I got my inspiration for it. Was he was in this board meeting and he was doing a product demo for one of his clients, and they were selling a really boring thing. It was like laundry detergent or something like that. And Don Draper went this whole beautiful poetic monologue about the commercial he just showed them, and the client was like, "Well, you didn't really show anyone using our product, though. It's just like it just says what it does. It shows his family in this living room. Like, no one's even doing laundry. What the hell, Don?" And Don goes into the beautiful monologue explaining to them, like, no, you don't understand. This commercial shows them what your product really does. So what your product does, like, logically, yes, it makes your clothes clean and smell nicer. But what it is actually doing is giving back family time, to where they don't have to struggle as hard to get such fresh and clean clothes. They can go and spend more time with their children, watch the game together. They can go bond while the machines in the background takes care of all of life's burden. That is what your product does. And they're just like, whoa. So this is why this is a very fun experiment to do with your own marketing, and is extremely powerful. If you find that emotional core, it will supercharge the rest of your marketing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was more off the cuff. I just shot a ton of video ads, so that's one of the reasons why this was very off the cuff. But I hope you enjoyed this little marketing insight. And if you want me to give you more like marketing-based videos from my own perspective, do let me know down in the comments. I always really appreciate you guys for that. So with that said, I'll talk to you later. And remember, if you want me to change your life by you buying or selling a business, I am, after all, a merchant of opportunity.